This is the AMX-50B, a Tier 10 French auto-loading heavy tank, a vehicle that has gotten a nerf and a substantial buff in Update 10.3. The nerf was to its armor. This vehicle features essentially zero armor now. The hull, which previously was pretty strong, at least dead on, is now non-existent. I mean, sure, it's a big nerf, and there's going to be people that cry about this in the comments. Personally, I could care less, because the 50B never had turret armor, and its side armor is so weak that every single tier 10 can overmatch it. The track wheels are terrible. The only time you would get bounces on this upper plate was against people that were literally so bad that they just didn't know where to aim. And you never needed to poke them to begin with, you just tried to get a lucky bounce. So in my eyes, I don't really care too much about the armor nerf. It's the buffs that I really care about. First of all, the vehicle got a pen buff, now sits at 360 millimeters of APCR pen. That is insane! 360 mils. The vehicle also has better aiming time at 3 seconds, and it got more DPM, now sitting at 2930 from when it was around 2700. So this is now one of the highest DPM autoloaders in Tier 10. It features a 1500 damage clip with good accuracy, high rate of fire, and still very good mobility, and 10 degrees of gun depression. It still has downsides. I mean, the vehicle has no armor, which is a big downside. And the biggest downside of the 50B is the fact that it's not very influential. Now, I should clarify what I mean by that. It's a very influential tank if you're able to play it correctly and you're given the opportunity to do your job. But there are games where the enemy team will push you, or there are games where your team will not do well. And this is not the kind of tank that does well when your team falls apart, because it has literally no armor, and it's the size of 2 vehicles put together. That's the problem with the 50B. It's so dang big that it's very hard to get into cover and hide from opponents. So because of that, it can be very, very tricky. Now that E4 shoots, we get another nice pen ourselves into his vehicle, and we get another nice pen in. There you go. That's a pretty positive trade in my opinion. Oh, he hadn't shot. I thought he did. Well, I mean, we still got our shells out, and the 60 TP got bonked in the process, so it's not the end of the world, but I didn't want to bleed health to that yo. But you know what? That's fine, because, well, I was going to say our 263 is going to kill him, but I guess not. Alright, well, let's see what we can do here. I'm going to turn wide. We're going to go on this route. We're going to help out our Object 84 on the side here. I think that's the best way to take apart this situation. Please don't be an E4 here. Okay, we're good. Oh boy, that's a Waffenverteidiger. Well, we get a nice 525 roll into his vehicle at least. That's a pretty big bonk. Then we're just going to pull off to the side of the 263. There you go, one nice pen into his vehicle, 2 nice pens into his tank, and bonk, there you go. I mean, great example right here of the 50B's clipping potential. We are up to, I would say, over 3k at this point. Yeah, we penned 2 clips. That's all I gotta do. Pen 2 clips. You're at 3,000 damage in this vehicle. Think about that. That's insane. Just 2 clips. Now, obviously, this Waffenträger is probably going to die before we actually get anything into him. You know what? Actually, we might have been able... No, never mind. We still wouldn't have been able to get any damage into his vehicle. The 121 is fighting the E50M. Nothing I can really do to that. And we got an AFK Sheridan in front of us. And we all know what I'm going to do. I'm going to farm this AFK like no tomorrow. There's 1 HE into his vehicle, 2 HEs into his tank, and we'll fire an AP. We just brought a full health tank to literally, what, 3 hit points at the end of that? That was because we low-rolled the final shell. I mean, this is the capabilities of the 50B. The tank is insane. Like, sure, the armor doesn't work, but it doesn't matter. That game, my armor meant nothing to me. Because all I needed to do was trade, deal 1,500, and in return, bleed a bit. So we did 4,883 damage, and we got a first-class high caliber. It's not all too bad. We're going to make a decent chunk of credits. Yep, 90,000. Okay. So, pretty solid first game for the 50B. I wouldn't say it was anything ridiculous, but it was a good example of how deadly the clip on this tank is. It's so dangerous. Obviously, there will be situations, again, like I said at the first start of the video, where if your team falls apart, there's not much you can do. Or, let's say you're on a map that requires hull-down capabilities, dead rail. There's not much you can do. Middleburg's one of those maps as well where you might need to use hull-down capabilities, so I guess we'll find out here. I'm going to go up top and support my mediums. Hopefully the rest of our team does so as well. Gonna wait a little bit. We have a 113 GFT, okay. We have a pretty decent lineup of vehicles. Our 113's going up top. I'm playing with Supremacy off, so going town, especially for this T30 and E3, just a flat L. There's actually no advantage to go town that you can even name when I'm not running Supremacy. So we got the IS-7 spotted, and that player's going wide, so we're not going to be able to get any shells into him. Okay, well, that's fine. Oh, we got the the Kron spotted as well. Might have been able to shoot that Kron. He's right in the open, but I guess it doesn't really matter because he bled a lot of health anyway. We are going to use our mobility to try and make it right into the front as fast as possible. Oh boy, we got the 140, and he does indeed pen us. Got the Progetto on the side too. There you go. I mean, the 140 can trade with me all day because I am a heavy and I have much more HP. There you go. Progetto trades. Anybody else want to trade with me? Come on. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's the advantage of being a heavy, is you have the hit points. And even if that's a 140, I still have 1,800 health left. That 140 is 1,500. So that's a positive trade for me. We just need to reload. And in 8 more seconds, we're going to try and get a clip out. Probably into that Hori. I'm hoping that this 140 doesn't break the surprise, though, of what I want to do here. Alright, let's reload, and let's see. There's the Progetto. 1 shell into the Prog, and 2 shells into the Prog. I don't care if you guys shoot me. I'm going to keep dumping. There you go, 3 shells into the Prog, and you're gone. Sure, I bled 1,000 health for that, but you know what? We killed a Progetto in the process. That's a flat win. This is just, again, trades. That's all the 50B is. It's trading hit points for the win. So we were able to trade a lot of our HP, but in return, now we win. Like, instantly, too. So now what do we have? Well, we got the IS-7 off to the side, and he's going to shoot at my teammate. We're going to push right over this ridgeline, get 1 shell into the IS-7, damage his AMRAC, 2 shells into the IS-7, 3 shells into the IS-7, and his teammate actually kills me. I don't care. We did over 3k, so it's not like it matters to me. I'm baffled that the IS-7, are they in platoon? Yeah, they are. I'm just baffled that that IS-7 would kill himself to kill me. Either way, this is the 50B. I would be willing to say, just gave our team a win alone by doing what we did to that Progetto. We killed him instantly, and we allowed our team to be aggressive and push. And once again, we dumped the crap out of that IS-7. We didn't do that much. We did 3,078. We could have done 3,800, but as I said, that IS-7 shot me. But I really can't complain. That was a win of a battle. Our 140 was a decent player. Our 113 GFT was a decent player. I still think that this is a great tank. I mean, you saw the capabilities of both these games here, and it's just such a good vehicle for making those crucial pushes sometimes. So I think the tank's great. Would I recommend for players to grind this tank? Well, it really depends on your skill level and your play style. If you're an aggressive player, I would not suggest to fully go for this tank because, yeah, you can get away with being aggressive. You saw me in that second game get over 3k. I played very aggressive, and if that IS-7 decided not to tunnel me, we could have done almost 4k. But even then, this is not a tank that's going to do great if you make a lot of mistakes and you try to play aggressive, because A, it has no armor. 183s and all types of tank destroyers are going to rip you apart. But it's also the fact that the vehicle has terrible track wheels, HE rips into it. So you got to really understand the playstyle of the 50B to do well in it. So you have to play a little passive, you have to know when to poke, when to hold, things like that. The other thing about the AMX 50B is that it's not great for average to lower skilled players. I'm not saying what your skill level is, so you can decide that on yourself. But if you don't trust yourself to drive, lightly armored vehicles, or you don't do as good in your mediums compared to your heavies, this is going to be that same type of situation. It might have the heavy tank badge on it, but it's not going to be a tank that you're going to be able to just stroll out into the battlefield and do well. It definitely requires a lot of brain cells, especially in those late game situations where you need to carry. I think it's a great tank. It's a fantastic vehicle if played properly, but it's always a big if. At the end of the day, hopefully enjoy today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!